Good morning, everybody. I am DrachenJaeger, and today we're going back to Viscera Cleanup Detail. Taking a little bit more of a break from XCOM this time. I'll probably get back to it on Tuesday. I do realize that I left off the last XCOM stream just at the start of a mission. So there is an achievement you can earn for completing Incubation Emergency, but it claims to be a 3-hour cleanup, and I'm not sure I want to dive into that right now. I am tempted, though. I think I'll go with, let's go with Athena's Wrath. Let's see if this old broken chair will actually sit at its proper height for the entire stream, or if it's just gonna sink right back down right away. They'll have my ID tags from previous couple of, or from the previous level, rather. Now, in theory, there should be another one of those somewhere in the level here. Is this the extent of the area? It's really small. There's got to be more that I'm not seeing here. Here we go. Stop. There we go. Since I found the one for this level, let's hear what it has to sing. There's definitely some good music in this game. I think, anyway. Alright, well, if that's the extent of the level, then I guess I gotta get up there and clean that sort of stuff. That's okay. There should be... yeah, there we go. ID tags. Why don't we start from over here? You know what? I think I can only realistically fit this torso in here. All personnel are advised to avoid contact with any and all identified and unidentified life forms and/or specimens hitherto unclassified or undisclosed by science personnel. Do not alarm, approach, or look at aforementioned entities. Well, that sounds safe. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna make a giant bloody mess as I go, and then I'll just clean it up at the end. This is especially true if I can't get these legs to go into the thing nicely. Ghibli bits. Thought there was another piece here. Apparently not. Now, where was the cleaning bucket thing? Was that down here or was it up there? Down here. We aren't doing the job if we don't knock over everything we come across. Man, some stubborn blood. Alright, let's read this paper. There's some really weird shit going down. I'm not allowed in Section 5, but whatever is going on in there is finding its way out. This morning, while doing my rounds, I discovered some freakish walking plant thing. I was shocked at first, then I tried to get a closer look. Damn thing nearly tore off my freaking arm. I thought it better to kill the bastard and hide the evidence. If they know I know, they'll probably plant me. I'll just store this evidence for later. Might become relevant, but probably will not. I don't know if this game actually involves any degree of continuity. Probably not. Try to clean as I go a little bit. All well and good to explore, but exploring doesn't directly bring you closer to the completion of the level. I think this water's done for. Yup. Set that over there. Try not to track a bunch of stuff everywhere. Alright. Oh, right. My mob is still filthy. That's better. Something up there. What do you mean, jammed? Aha! Figured this would be around here somewhere. Need that later. Well, now. A little bit of a mess up here. Gonna have to bring up a bucket. Well, that was smooth. Or, more accurately, that was not even remotely smooth. I don't even know where that other piece went. Oh well. That's just gonna fall right off. That's better. That time it worked without throwing me, fortunately. Bits don't want to get in the box. Wait, I tossed... Yes. serves another purpose, doesn't it? Oh, but you can't activate this while you have this out. Kinda stupid. I thought you were able to... Yeah. Convert these giant chunks of meat into smaller chunks of meat. Much better. These should fit much better now. I don't know why you throw it every time. Goodbye! I've been asked to evaluate the ongoing operations of the botanical project once again. I hate coming down here. The place stinks of potting soil and radioactive waste matter. I never liked plants anyway, although I'm not sure if I can call the specimens I've seen plants. So far, progress is acceptable, but I'm going to recommend additional security for sure. Not once, but thrice I was nibbled on by aggressive plant species while examining the facility. I'm not even going to comment on the name of the person who wrote this report. Alright. Cooked human bit. Cooked human bit. Cooked human bit. Cooked human bit. Uncooked human head. Done leaving footprints yet? Yes? Good. Now, I would like to figure out... There it is. Okay, didn't go too far. Or probably went very far and then came back. Yeah, that's what I thought. Kinda forgot to bring a bucket up with me. Really? You jammed at this point? I don't trust this thing not to throw me. bucket is useful for something even after it decides it's going to dump its contents everywhere. Or not. Well, that's a thing that happened. I'm not entirely sure how, but it happened. Well, the bits are down. Okay. Let's take this thing to the incinerator. Only 700 more shells before I get the achievement. Also, my lap has just been invaded by a cat once again. I may have to leave in a moment to get him to stop chewing on my headphone cords. Also, fun fact, you see all these footprints that I'm leaving? I was in the settings and I checked, and yeah, there's currently no maximum on the number that I can wind up leaving behind. Oh, hey, something more to read. Every day it's the same. More teeth. More teeth! I didn't take this assignment just so I could make mutated alien plant species. I had hoped to make new, exotic forms of recreational bonsai Cephalus fraxus. But all I seem to get funding for is more dangerous plant life, each one more deadly than the last. I'm putting in a petition to get reassigned. Maybe I can get my old job back. Working with radioactive Brussels sprouts was safer than this shit. Definitely gonna need one of these here. Oops. No! Wah! Let's take these off the machine before I accidentally activate it again. Keep scrolling too far when I try to switch what I'm using. Mop up some of the blood spatters I left around here. okay. I'll get rid of the source first. Occurs to me that doing that is probably just causing me to pick up my own bloody footprints again. Try not to knock that over. Set you over there. Started mopping that before I got to read it. Oh well. This water is done now. Mop above the blood in order to mop up the blood. So many bits of intestine. Fig. Right, I still have this to clean up. Oh. Huh. Moment there, the game froze. There we go, that's got it in the right place. Doesn't everyone like cleaning up meaty chunks? Especially meaty chunks that don't like getting in their bins. Nothing else there. a bit of care and concentration, I was able to right this bin without dumping its contents all over the floor, which I'm glad about. I don't want to have to spend that extra time cleaning up stuff I'd already cleaned up. Oh. In you go. How did I miss this? And whatever, you're close enough to being too filthy to use. You look pretty clean. Now the other use for the laser, these. Be careful though, because if you overdo it, instead of getting rid of the bullet hole, it just creates scorch marks on the wall. Haha! I'm not looking forward to having to track down every single bullet hole. But that's heading in the right direction. Shell casings in the bin. The water can come over here. I still need to get up there and properly mop up there. Ha! Let's call this water done. There we are. Or I could just miss. That water is now useless, but at least I can clean that up. Probably don't need these wet floor signs. Actually, I'm not gonna get a useful reading. That bucket's empty now. Classified lifeforms have escaped containment. All security teams to Section 5. All other personnel are to vacate the area immediately. Wonderful. Huh. Some sort of news ticker that's spouting weird comments made by people. Sounds pleasant outside, but tells me it's just a deception. Alright. Research has been going well. I now believe that we can successfully isolate the plant life from its soil, and they will naturally walk until they find some of their own. It's my hope that we will be able to market sentient plants as a user-friendly alternative to traditional potting. With our plants, people won't need to care for them, as the plants will care for themselves. We may even be able to market the little fellows as family companions. The Braxius botanicus mutilus, for example, is particularly frisky and sociable. Maybe it just likes getting close to its food source. Alright, you're full of shell casings. Make an interesting jingle sound as I walk, though. Fun fact, this sort of scattered back and forth approach that I have to cleaning, that's how I clean in real life too. I have a hard time staying with one specific task until it's done. Depending on what the task is, that is. What do I need up there? I need a bucket of water up there. You are Kaz Dreyfus. Where'd I drop the gun? There. This legible? Is permitted. Okay. That's as much as I can read of the thing that I... yeah. That is one large chunk of meat. Apparently it's a lot easier to carry than a whole body would be. You are Ajax Ibrahid. Ibrahid? Yup. That's something I gotta clean up. it over there. The other side of these remnants. Big ol' meat chunks. Kinda feel sorry for these poor folks. All the not so nameless goons who wind up working in these ridiculous experiments and inevitably wind up dying horrible, horrible deaths. Often because they were just doing what they were told. One moment. There we are. Just realized I hadn't actually double-checked Twitch to make sure that my stream was functioning properly. We'll call this bucket used up. Close that up, see if it incinerates stuff any faster. It does seem like it incinerates stuff faster with the door closed. Okay. Hello. Yeah, the noises in this game are quite squishy. Hooray! It didn't launch me upward. I think that area is good. See, that happened to me last time I was up here too. Something caused me to float, and then I hit the bucket full of bits that I had up here and launched it all the way down to the ground. And it made a giant mess. You know, as buckets full of bits. Wait, no, that's not how that happened. That's how I tipped over the bucket full of bloody water. How I launched the bits was I climbed onto this, but somehow had the bin against the side, and I took a step back, and the bin caused this whole thing to tip over with me on it, and dumped everything onto the ground. In the bits. Your garbage too. Hiding garbage. I don't know if I'd call it bad, but it was certainly messy. Didn't take too long to clean up again, though. Alright, I think this area is mostly clear. Yeah, I can start doing this little side hallway. Should probably check the other window ledges, though. Never know what might be hiding up there. Well, a can is not bad. I wonder. Yeah, I left a scorch mark on the wall. Not quite what I was going for. Wait, I think it left it on the camera. Yup. Crunchy. Squish. Squish. Ka-chunk. Oh hey, Trudy LaFont. Stack these barrels out of the way. Sometimes when you're walking with bins full of bits, it sounds like you're playing a fighting game. Just mashing the button over and over again against an enemy that's not defending themselves. Squish, 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 squish. Oops. I would very much like to play this with someone else at some point. Seems like it would be a lot of fun. I think this bucket of water is done. Looks pretty done. That this bin can go into the fire. I'm really glad that didn't just spread a bunch of blood everywhere. Oh, another thing to read. Man, working in this place is really weird. Each day a different camera goes down because some good-for-nothing fungus eats through the wires. When it's not fungus, it's walking plants with teeth. Not even sure what I'm guarding. Not like I'm allowed to put these plants out to seed, if you catch my drift. Management as well as the scientists keep asking me to just leave the freaky things alone. They've already got all the security they could ever need, if you ask me. I'm taking this for the evidence book. Man, I gotta get all the way up there, and bullet holes in the ceiling, too. Fantastically smooth. Well, at least I have an empty container to put this limb in. Again? Again. What the hell? Gonna spit out the rest of the corpse now? No? Alright. But you're not done being a jerk. Carefully take this bucket of bits over to the incinerator. Try not to dump it all over the floor. Sometimes this game. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty difficult to stuff these, or this poor fellow, into the bin, so where'd I put that laser? That's better. Condensed meat nuggets. I'm waiting for the comment on lasering a corpse into tinier pieces. Oops. In the bin. I trip over this if I don't move it. That was Barney Cullum. Not Barney Cullum anymore. That's everything that I can easily reach anyway. You don't have to get that afterwards. Are those bullet holes? No, those are just marks on the wall, but there are bullet holes up there. That's fine. I'm gonna move this over here. I think it's clean enough that I can do that with it. That's all the garbage from that corner. Let's take this down to the incinerator. Still need to do that, and the area up there, and then this, and make sure that there's nothing along the ledge. I can pretty much guarantee you there's going to be stuff along the ledge. Oh. Not garbage, and whatever is behind here. Nothing. Aha! Jerks. Hiding garbage all along there. Show them. This is not very effective. Oh, but now it's jammed. Of course, I just barely miss. Fine, I can clean that up easily enough later. The important part is the garbage is easier to reach now. Not sure I trust this vine. And I knew I'd find this here. Dr. Gaywood. Chief has woken me up early today. Apparently we've received a contract from a rich investor to work on a specialized specimen. Dr. Baumgartner tells me our client wants security plants for his arboretum, whatever that means. We've been trying to suppress the more primal habits in our other specimens, but in this case I believe the point is to not block them, but instead perhaps even cultivate them. I better go look for my acidity regulation suit exoskeleton again. And for anyone not catching the acronym there, I better go look for my ARSE again. Alright, that's that ledge cleaned. Garbage up there, I think. And up there. That one looks clear. That's the first one I cleaned. I also did that one. Okay. Let's grab the lift and take it up into the little side corridor. I'm just gonna wait till I can watch a replay of that on my little video preview. And glitch, and yup. That sure happened. So I need to keep this thing level, otherwise it won't work. Or close to level, I guess. Ah, no. Come on. Close enough. Dang it. It's not quite where I meant for that to go. That'll do. I can't tell if that's a ding that I can fix or not. Yes, it is. There we go. Okay. Clean off this mop. You are not jammed. All of that just for a little bit of mopping. I wish you wouldn't throw that so hard. Well, that's a thing that happened. Really annoying that you can't, like, just set this down carefully. You can only toss it. There we go. Ah, crap. Managed to stay on, though. That all of them? That's not one. Looks like it might be all of them. That was close. Okay, I'm gonna need that elsewhere. I'm gonna need that elsewhere. I'm gonna need to not dump this water everywhere. So I'm gonna move it first. What does this have to say? dank orphanage. Ugh. Wow. Oh, right. Let's take this back to the bin right now, before I forget. Gotta steal them identities. Come on. Really? Cannot quite get up there. Good enough. But it's not going to be high enough. Yeah, I thought so. Oh well. I'll just use the elevator device. Huh. Check those two. Let's do this one next. Ha ha ha! I don't know what that accomplished. Yeah, this is good enough. Just need to see what's up here anyway. The answer is nothing. That's fine, that's fine. Something about Glorbon tentacles of Ziab. Or Zalim, or whatever. I think they put a fair amount of effort into the little things like that in this game. It's good. Bum, 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 bum. Ha 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 ha. There's definitely a certain degree of fun in just seeing how far you can throw things in this game. Nothing throws quite as effectively as this, though. Or quite as easily, anyway. Right, so this is a bin full of junk. Just gonna toss the just gonna grab a can out of it and use that can to throw a bunch of other stuff on the floor. I'm gonna incinerate this broom. Don't quite know why it's so much fun to smack barrels with a broom, but apparently it is. Right, this is that one. Sure, let's save it with the other evidence. I'm also going to try to take the gun out of here when I'm done. We'll see whether or not it lets me do that. So now we've got this bit down here, which is a bit of garbage and a couple of bodies. I think I'm going to want a nice empty bin for that. And also the gun. Turn them into much smaller, easier to work with bits. Oops, there we go. Oops. There we go. Smaller chunks. Not gonna play it nice, of course. Some of these missions have secret things hidden in them, I'm told. Or, I gather, anyway. Like, apparently in one of these, there's a way to get eaten. Because that's an achievement you can earn. That might be exclusively in multiplayer, though. Who knows? A level where you have to be careful while you're cleaning, and if you're not careful, then your friends can actually knock you off, or you can knock them off into some monster. Yeah, Dr. Baumgartner. carry Ibrahid? Wow. Squish, 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 squish. Ah, there's still a bit there. Of course. Anything else hiding? Try not to spread the mess around too much. That it? For this little area? Looks like it. Let's get rid of this bucket of water. Still got a couple of more nice bloody or ichory patches to deal with. Let's open up the side that I'm actually using. Try climbing. Of course, it's too far away. Really? Fine, I'll go the long way. Now this is going to result in more of a mess before it results in less of a mess, but I am okay with this because it doesn't take that long to clean up a few blood splatters. That's all the bits along here? Oop. Not quite. Now is it all the bits? Looks like it. Fire a bucket. Again. Shift how I'm sitting so that my leg stops falling asleep. Okay. Now, let's get rid of these cadaverous chunks. I said get rid of them, not spread them all over the floor. Clean them up. I think this mop water is also done. Oh dear, my leg is very asleep. Or at least it's waking up now and the sensation is not wonderful. I will need to deal with those bullet holes as well before I'm done. What have we got up here? Little bit of garbage. That's fine. Do I still have a bin around here? Of course not. Yeah, whatever. This'll do. I think the water is still clean as far as the game's concerned, but I won't risk it. A little bit of garbage up here too. Yep. One can. Oh right, and then this stuff in the corner here. I don't like how red that sign is. Primary objective: contain the botanical outbreak and find Dr. Baumgartner's research notes. Secondary objective: shoot up the place real good. You've been hired by a wealthy client to ensure his investment in a certain project being conducted here at this research facility. You're to secure the area and locate what remains of Dr. Baumgartner, but more importantly, his research notes and any plant samples kept in storage. Dead Space Core. 12 Valkyries. Yeah, let's throw this in with the rest of the evidence that we're keeping. Take our water bin full of trash and drop it in the incinerator. Grab another one. Aha! You're not flopping on the ground on my watch. There's a little bit more garbage to be cleaned up over here. Doesn't look like there's anything hidden in this back corner. Makes me happy. I think that leaves the bullet holes in the wall, and then I'm done. Drop this into the case, see if I can get it to actually stay in. Come on, I gotta be able to get this. No! Just go in the case. Haha! That took some work. What do you mean there's still something there? So it's detecting the stuff that I put in there, that's fine. All right. There's still something up there that I need to deal with. Enjoy your lunch. Chat's pretty slow today. Not much going on. Wait, this is the one where there's stuff still to be cleaned up. What? Alright, I think that's got it. Aha! Promoted again! You left the worksite feeling confident that everything was in order. A good job on your record is sure to earn favor with your superiors. I think this is the same as the last time. Let's check our stats here. 1 hour, 33 minutes, 51 seconds, 95% performance. Not bad. This is still jammed awkwardly, and yeah. This place is still a huge mess. I should probably try to not leave it too messy. These mops are really weird. And now it's also glitched into the wall there. That's nice. No, not done in the office yet. I want to make sure. Yup. Gun came with me. What's this? Hooray! Oops. Oh, what's this? Yeah. Same sort of message. What's this? Huh. I have access to an incinerator in here. The sniffer looks weird. Get some of these random articles of work debris onto the shelves. Hooray, managed to get that in the garbage. Just say. Odd problem, cook's goose. Failing ventilation systems and a blazing heat awaited morning workers as they made their way to their workstations. The incinerator unit was left on with the doors open overnight, causing significant damage to systems and a shortage of exit butaneinator gas. Oops. I did leave the door open. Huh. Glove. Oops. Glove. Helmet. All the mops. I see. Someone's unhappy that I got a promotion. What's this one? Of course it has. This office tidied up a little more. I know I made a pretty significant mess over here. Yeah. Why is there a barrel in my biohazard bin? Get off! Come on! I think I just nearly glitched myself through a wall there. No! Ha! entirely sure why I'm cleaning this place up. I guess it kind of bothers me that every time I come back here it's in complete disarray. Lockers must be super light if I can just pick them up like that. What is the door code? I really want to know. Judging by the amount of garbage around here, the position of this chair and this box, that is functionally my workplace dining table. Garbage. Come on. I know that the reach of the character is a lot longer than it seems. Alright. There. There. Is that all the garbage in here? Looks like it. At least now I know it's not all of one single number. For that one door, anyway. bob.txt. Deleted. No crouch button. Okay, that's enough with that. Funny little things on the computer. Alright, time to exit. So this seems like a good place to take a bit of a break. That was an interesting thing, I suppose. I do enjoy Viscera Cleanup Detail, but as I mentioned during it, it would be more fun, I think, to play it with someone else and explore some new levels and some teamwork. So yeah, for the moment I'm going to take a bit of a break. I'll probably grab a quick bite and come back, and I'm not sure exactly how long I'll wind up going for. At least until 2 o'clock, possibly longer depending on how long my break is. So I will say thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you shortly. Well folks, this bit is being recorded sometime after the actual stream. Unfortunately, when I went to try to initialize XCOM so that I could return from my break, it would not work. It couldn't find the executable. Something had been broken in the most recent Windows update, and I had to download and reinstall the entire game. So I cut off the stream there, and I did record a bit of a clip then explaining what had happened and what I was trying to do to fix it, and unfortunately that clip was not really usable. It was full of extremely long pauses and very broken sentences, and would not have been a good representation of my ability to speak and communicate. Therefore, I'm recording this clip sometime later, as I'm editing the video in fact, so that I can put it on the end and just explain why this video does not continue after I mention a break. Unfortunately, because the stream did end here, I have to say thank you all for watching, and I will catch you in the next video where I do actually return to XCOM. See you guys next time.